Welcome you to session again. We'll be studying high frequency response of a CSE MOSFET amplifier. We'll study something on the high frequency response of E MOSFET amplifier. One thing we have to keep in mind is that all the junction capacitance which will be acting between the gate to source, drain to source, they form a very predominant pole at higher frequency and they affect the frequency response, though they are very small in value ranging from 0.1 picofarad to 10 picofarad. So in doing the high frequency response is nothing but to study the effect of the junction capacitances CGS, CDS and so on. Here this is an common source E MOSFET configuration. Here you can see the capacitance CWI, CW0, these are the external capacitances, and CGD, CGS and CDS, these are all the internal capacitances which are called as the junction capacitance. The external capacitances CG and CC as well as CS, they don't play a very vital role at high frequency response because they act as an open circuit. And though these are very small in value, the internal capacitances, though they are very small in value, they play an effective role at high frequency because their reactances increase with the frequency and they cannot be shorted. So we have to follow the same step as we had been doing for our BJT high frequency response. Step 1, first draw the model of AC analysis circuit. So it is drawn over here. What was shown just slide before for common source amplifier. So find the equivalent Thevenin's resistance at the input and output. So at looking inside the input, we get this will be short circuit as well as this will act as an open circuit. So here what we do, we take a parallel combination of our signal input resistance parallel a gate resistance. Then coming at the output, this will be open circuit. Even your GM VGS which is there, it will be open circuit. So here you get a combination of RL parallel resistance across the drain terminal and the drain resistance. This is the junction resistance. Small rd is the junction resistance. High frequency response of the MOSFET configuration. Again, then we'll be finding out the various parameters that are required to find the cutoff frequencies. Okay, so in first step we had found out the resistances. Now we'll find out the capacitances. So there was a capacitance that was CGS existing between the gate and the drain terminal. So that needs to be broken down. So CMI is the input Miller capacitance. CMI is equal to 1 minus AV into CGD. CGD is the capacitance between the gate and the drain, as I have been talking. And CM0 is the equivalent Miller capacitance at the output, which is 1 minus 1 upon AV into CGD. This you have studied in depth in high frequency analysis of bipolar junction transistor. So similarly, we have to break down the capacitance CGD existing between the gate and the drain terminal, which is highly affecting the frequency response as it provides a negative feedback into the input from the output. So capacitance Ci at the input, this is Ci. So Ci is equal to Cwi CGS plus CMI. Alright. Similarly, the output capacitance CW0 CDS plus CM0. So when we have found out the values of input resistance and the input capacitance, your cutoff frequency will be equal to 1 upon twice pi RTHI upon CI, where RTHI is the Thevenin's equivalent input resistance and Ci is the input capacitance. When you come to the output side here, you have found out the Thevenin's voltage, Thevenin's resistance, RD parallel RL parallel RD, and similarly your Miller output capacitance will be first found out, which is given by this relation, and then you find out the complete capacitance that is acting at the output, which is the sum of all the capacitance since they are in parallel. So you find later on you find out the output cutoff frequency Fs0 1 upon twice pi RTS0 into C0. Compare the two frequencies and find out which one is the greatest among them. So certainly it is the output cutoff frequency which is very predominant because of the formation of poles due to the capacitance CGD. Frequency to understand the high frequency response, let's take some example. I'll relate the example problem statement first. Configuration that you have used is a similar configuration what you have used for analysis. So all the component values are given over here, including CWI and C0. So your objective is to find out the cutoff frequencies and compare them. So first go to DC analysis. Why? Because we have to find out so many values corresponding to that. We'll have to find out the gain first of all. So your gain which was calculated when you were doing your low frequency analysis of MOSFET amplifier. So that time the gain was coming out to be minus GM RD parallel RL. So what is this GMO? To get a transconductance, input transconductance, we need to know what is GMO. So GMO is 2 IDSs by Vp. This follows from the DC analysis. This whole thing follows from the DC analysis. So 2 times IDSs by Vp, which gives you 4 millisiemens. So GM0 is coming out to be 2 millisiemens by substituting the given values in this relation. Now we'll do the comparative study. So that's why I've written on the input circuit and the output circuit, as we are supposed to find out the cutoff frequencies on the input side and output side by modeling those input circuit as the RC circuit. So find out what is the total capacitance, substitute the value, you get it as 17 picofarad. Similarly, you find out what is the value of RTH. Fine. Substitute here, you will get the answer. Go back here at the output side. Complete this. CM0 is the Miller output capacitance, which is equal to CGD. So that's why relation comes out to be CW0 plus CDS plus CGD. And here your cutoff frequency is expressed as, or is calculated as 11.57 megahertz. So you can see comparatively this capacitance CGD, which is between the gate and the drain terminal, has a high influence on the frequency response at the higher frequencies, or it leads to give you a higher cutoff frequency in fact. Okay. Next presentation is for the video presentation. In flow, duration is of 45 minutes. The learning concept from this video are the input and output circuit are modeled as a low pass and high pass filter. Then based on the low pass and high pass filter modeling, you will be the presenter is helping us to understand to calculate the lower cutoff frequency and the higher cutoff frequency. And the second thing is every component behavior is analyzed at the input and output frequency. How is the resistance behaving? How are your various capacitance behaving? Internal capacitors, that is CGS, CGD and CDS respectively, as well as the external capacitance CS and CG. Then later on we find out the voltage gain at the cutoff frequencies. Here my presentation gets over. The next presentation will be handled by the video.
Good morning. Welcome to online video lecture on analog electronics. In the last class, we have discussed junction capacitances and high frequency model. In today's class, we are going to discuss frequency response of common source amplifier. We already know the circuit details of common source amplifier. Now in today's class, we are going to cover the frequency response of common source amplifier. The common source amplifier is one of the most widely used amplifier compared to common gate and common drain amplifier. So in the frequency response of common source amplifier, we are going to study the dependence of the gain of the MOSFET of common source amplifier on the frequency of the input signal. In common source amplifier, we are going to vary the frequency of input signal, and correspondingly we are going to measure the gain of the amplifier circuit. So before we proceed to the frequency response of common source amplifier, let us discuss various frequency bands of common source amplifier. So to give a glimpse of common source amplifier, here we have circuit diagram of common source amplifier. The circuit diagram of common source amplifier comprises a MOSFET, metal oxide semiconductor field effector transistor, which is made up of 3 terminals: gate, source and drain. The input AC signal, the signal that need to be amplified, is modeled as a voltage source here, so V signal. So this is basically an AC source that needs amplification, is applied to the MOSFET, and this voltage source that we are modeling here has got internal resistance. So this R signal represents internal resistance of voltage signal, V signal. And the input signal is fed to the transistor via the coupling capacitor. The coupling capacitor passes AC signal and blocks DC signal. And here we have a resistance RG, gate resistance, which is usually a very large value. The biasing used in this common source amplifier is constant current source biasing. We have discussed current mirror circuit inside this, embedded inside this constant current source biasing. Now we have a capacitor here which bypasses the AC signal, and the amplified signal which appears at the drain point is measured across the load resistance. Again, we use here coupling capacitor CC2 to filter the AC signal, to pass the AC signal from the drain terminal to the load resistance RL. And for common source amplifier, the source is at, for AC signal, source is at ground terminal, because the capacitor here passes AC signal, so it acts like a short circuit. So therefore, the source will be at ground potential for the AC signal. Similarly, for the AC signal, VDD will be VDD for the AC equivalent circuit. VDD will be at a ground potential here. So therefore, input signal for this common source amplifier is applied between the gate and source, and output is measured between the drain and source. The source terminal serves as a common point between the input AC signal and the output amplified signal. So therefore, this circuit is called as common source amplifier circuit. So this is capacitively coupled. As we can see, there are totally two coupling capacitors, namely CC1 and CC2, and we have one capacitor which is a bypass capacitor to bypass the AC signal. So this is a common source amplifier circuit diagram. Now, so from this circuit we can measure the voltage gain, overall voltage gain, which is denoted as GV. GV equals V0 by V signal. The ratio of V0 divided by V signal is called as overall voltage gain, which is denoted as GV. The frequency response is nothing but it is a graph of overall voltage gain G against the frequency. So if we observe the graphical representation of overall voltage gain, which is taken along the y-axis, and the frequency is plotted along the x-axis. The graph of overall voltage gain against different frequencies is called as frequency response. Now let us see the frequency response of common source amplifier. Here we have a plot of frequency response of a common source amplifier. We have magnitude of voltage gain V0 by V signal, which is plotted along y-axis. The frequencies, the various frequencies, are plotted along x-axis. Sometimes we can denote it with frequency f, or we can denote it as omega. So if we observe this frequency response, the curve looks like umbrella shape, and the reason is because here we have different frequency bands. We can split this entire curve into three bands. The first band is going to be the low frequency band. For the frequencies between 0 and FL, the band is called as low frequency band. And the frequency between FL and FH, FL is nothing but lower cutoff frequency, FH is the upper cutoff frequency. The frequency between the band of frequencies between these two limits is called as mid-band frequencies, and the frequency components beyond FH is called high frequency band. We will see here why we divided this entire frequency response into the three bands. So here the common source amplifier, we expect to gain where the gain exactly it is a constant. So that is called as a mid-band gain. And as we can see that at lower frequencies, for the frequency between 0 and FL, the gain is decreased here. And as we move from 0 to higher frequency, gain keeps increasing. And again, if you move across to the higher frequencies beyond FH, the gain further keeps decreasing. So the frequency response of a common source amplifier shows that at low frequency there is a drop in gain, and at high frequency there is also a drop in gain. The gain remains constant in the mid band, basically between FH and FL. So at the mid band the gain is almost constant. So to obtain the bandwidth, we can decrease from the maximum gain by 3 dB, and the lower and the upper and lower and upper cutoff frequency can be estimated. Now let us try to identify the reasons, find out the reasons why gain decreases at low frequency and why the gain decreases at higher frequencies. First, let us focus on the high frequency band. So as we have seen that high frequency band is nothing but frequency beyond FH, is called as high frequency band. Now as we see here, at high frequencies, these two capacitance, in the last class we discussed about high frequency model of the MOSFET. So in the high frequency model, there are two dominant capacitances. One is gate to source capacitance, the capacitance that appears between gate and source, and there is another capacitance which appears between gate and drain, which is called as CGD. So these two capacitance are dominant at higher frequencies. So therefore, these two capacitance are the main problem. That leads to the drop in gain at higher frequencies. So these capacitance, instead of being as a open circuit, they will try to become short circuit at higher frequencies. These capacitance poses a problem at higher frequencies. And let us see and also one more observation is these two capacitance are going to be in femtofarad, which is going to be very small values. Okay. Now let us find out the reason why gain falls off in the lower frequency region here. The lower frequency band is nothing but between 0 and FL. Again there is a drop in gain. Now the drop in gain is because of these three capacitances, namely CC1 coupling capacitor, which is connected between the input source and the gate of the MOSFET, CC2 the capacitance connected between drain and the output, and we have a bypass capacitance, the capacitance that is connected at the source terminal at the ground. These capacitance are usually in microfarad, large values compared to the gate to source and gate to drain capacitances. These three capacitance at lower frequencies, they try to become open circuit at lower frequencies. Henceforth, the gain decreases at lower frequencies. In fact, at higher frequencies, all three capacitance will act like a short circuit. In fact, we expect the coupling capacitors and bypass capacitors to behave like a short circuit, and the gate to source capacitance and gate to drain capacitance, we expect them to behave like a open circuit. But unfortunately, in a common source amplifier at lower frequencies, these three capacitance will behave like a open circuit, whereas at higher frequency bands, these two capacitances, these are internal capacitance to the MOSFET. These two capacitance will behave like a short circuit. Okay, so these are the main reasons to decrease in the gain at lower frequencies and higher frequencies respectively. Now let us see the various formulas associated with this frequency response. Overall voltage gain GV equals V0 divided by V signal. This is output voltage divided by the signal source, AC signal here. And that's also denoted as AM, which is also called as a mid-band gain. So in the frequency response, we have seen that the mid-band gain, which is expressed in 20 log of AM in decibels. So the formula for that is minus RG divided by RG plus R signal into GM times R0 parallel with RD parallel with RL. So this derivation we have seen while discussing common source amplifier. Now we are not going to discuss more details on this. So here we are just indicating, in the frequency response, how we can calculate the overall voltage gain. So we can use this formula to calculate overall voltage gain of common source amplifier. Now here let us dig further, into the more details of this frequency response, and let us model this the high frequency with the low pass filter and low frequency region with high pass filter, and we'll see that how exactly there is a drop in gain at these two frequency bands here. Now let us see the low pass circuit. Low pass circuit is nothing but a circuit with a resistance and a capacitance connected in this manner, and we apply input signal across the capacitor, and we measure output voltage across the capacitor here. So this combination of R and C will behave like a low pass filter circuit here. This simple low pass filter circuit is a passive filter. There is no source given here. So the AC source itself is an input, and we observe the output across the capacitor here. This circuit is called as a single time constant circuit. Shortly we can call this as STC circuit. The transfer function of this STC circuit can be obtained by taking the ratio of V0 divided by Vi. So V0 by Vi equals, so it's a voltage division rule again here. So V0 equals, V0 by Vi equals 1 by J omega C, that's the capacitive reactance, divided by total sum of this, the resistances, which is R plus 1 by J omega C. Now substituting J omega as S here, so to simplify this transfer function, V0 by Vi equals now 1 by Sc divided by R plus 1 by Sc. And taking LCM in the denominator, so we get 1 plus SRC divided by Sc. And now we can cancel out these two terms in the numerator and as well as denominator. The simplified expression for transfer function V0 by Vi is going to be 1 divided by 1 plus S times Rc. Now we can indicate this Rc as 1 by omega naught. If we replace that this Rc by 1 by omega naught, the transfer function it becomes now V0 by Vi equals 1 divided by 1 plus S divided by omega naught. So where omega naught equals 1 by Rc now. So far what we have discussed is the low pass behavior of the overall frequency response. It is especially this region. So this region we have modeled with an RC circuit where R and C are connected in this fashion. So this is nothing but a low pass filter, and which has got a cutoff frequency as omega h. Here we have denoted cutoff frequency as omega naught. In fact, omega naught and omega h are going to be same. So the overall frequency response of a common source amplifier, we have just modeled the low pass behavior, especially in the high frequency region. Now, if I assume that omega is going to be very much less than omega naught, which is the cutoff frequency, so we can substitute omega naught as 1 by Rc. So now we can estimate formula for resistance of the capacitance R is very much less than 1 by omega C. This expression gives us the relationship between the frequency and the resistance and capacitances. Okay. Now if we plot if we plot Bode plot for the low frequency, the behavior is going to be like this. So we have this is actually a Bode plot of common source amplifier, especially low pass filter. As we can see that at cutoff frequency the gain drops here, and till the omega naught the gain is almost constant now. Now we can see here from this behavior. So as we said already, at high frequencies, the capacitance like CGD and CGS will behave like has to behave like the open circuit. So this diagram, the Bode plot clearly shows that for the omega less than omega for omega naught or omega less than omega naught in this region especially, so the capacitance becomes CGS and CGD will behave like a open circuit here. Okay, so this response shows the Bode plot of common source amplifier here. So this is one model of overall frequency response of common source amplifier. Similarly, we can also model the other region of frequency response, especially the lower frequency region. So here the high pass filter comes into play. So from circuit point of view, high pass filter can be constructed with capacitance and resistance here, and we can calculate transfer function of this high pass filter. Transfer function of this circuit also can be called a single time constant circuit because it has got 1 0 and 1 pole. So transfer function V0 by Vi equals, now we can apply voltage division rule here, R divided by R plus 1 by J omega C. Again substituting J omega as S. So the equation becomes now V0 by Vi equals R divided by 1 plus SRC divided by Sc. Taking this to the numerator, the V0 by Vi equation is SRC divided by 1 plus SRC. Again bringing RC to the denominator, we have equation of transfer function equation as S divided by 1 by RC plus S. So V0 by Vi now transfer function is now S divided by, So 1 by RC can be denoted as omega naught. So since it is going to be a high pass filter, this omega naught represents a lower cutoff frequency omega L here. So omega L and omega naught both are going to be equal. So where omega naught or omega L, which is equal to 1 by RC. So this shows that the lower part of the overall frequency response can be modeled with a high pass filter. So in high pass filter, so the omega naught which is cutoff frequency becomes equivalent to 1 by RC. Now the Bode plot for this high pass filter is as shown here. So as we can see that till omega naught the gain is less, and as we move to the high frequency region here, so the gain keeps increasing. So this is the Bode plot of common source. So high frequency high pass filter Bode plot. For the frequency omega greater than omega naught, the meaning of this is if the input frequency, if it is greater than the omega naught, so here we expect the capacitance to be short here. So we will see here this substituting omega naught as RC. So we can estimate, we can express, we can obtain the formula for R as R will be far greater than 1 by omega C. So this equation gives you the relationship between the input frequency and the cutoff frequency here. So since this is going to be an high pass filter, for the frequency lower frequency region here, the capacitance must behave like short circuit here. As we can see here, even though we have a single value here, but when it is compared with the circuit, this refers to the three capacitors, namely coupling capacitors CC1, CC2 and CS. Whereas in the case of low pass filter, the capacitance here represents the CGD, CGS and CGD and CGS. Okay, this represents the two capacitances. So that's the interpretation between the low pass filter circuit and the high pass filter circuit. Now let us summarize now what we have discussed so far with modeling of low pass filter and high pass filter with RC elements. So low frequency band, as we have seen three frequency band in the overall frequency response of a common source amplifier. A low frequency band. Let us focus on the low frequency band. In the low frequency band, coupling capacitor CC1, CC2 and bypass capacitor CS, they are no longer behaves like a short circuit. As we already told about that, in our modeling also we mentioned it. These three capacitors, the reactance of these three capacitors will become very high. So they are not they are no longer behaves like a short circuit. They tend to be behave like a open circuit, especially at the low frequency band. That's why in the low frequency region the gain drops. Let's see the other capacitance, internal capacitance of the MOSFET. CGS and CGD, they are the internal capacitance of the MOSFET. These two capacitance in the low frequency band, since the frequency is very less, so these capacitance behave like a open circuit. Here we expect these two capacitors to behave like a open circuit. However, this behavior is an unexpected thing in the low frequency band here. Okay. Therefore, because of CC1, CC2 and CS, the gain drops in the low frequency band. Now let us see in the mid band. So this is the frequency between FH and FL. So this is called as a mid band. In this region, gain is almost constant. But if you see the capacitance behavior in this mid band, again, if you make an observation between three capacitance connected to the amplifier circuit, namely CC1, CC2 and the CS, they are going to be short circuit because it's in the mid band frequency range. The frequency is in the mid range, so therefore the reactance, capacitive reactance of this is going to be moderate. So therefore the three capacitance behaves like a short circuit. Whereas the capacitance, internal capacitance of MOSFET, CGS and CGD, even again this is a mid band frequency. So these capacitance also behaves like a open circuit here. This is exact behavior what we expect from the capacitance in common source amplifier circuit. But let us see in high frequency region how exactly these two types of capacitances behaves. In high frequency band, that's band beyond FH, so that's high frequency band. The capacitance, they behave like a short circuit. This is what we expect in the amplifier circuit. So they are behaving as per our requirement. So three capacitances are now, they are short circuit in the high frequency region. However, the internal capacitance of MOSFET, CGS and CGD, now they are no longer behaving like a open circuit. Since the frequency is going to be very high, these capacitance, capacitive reactance of this becomes very less. So these two capacitance will act like a short circuit in the high frequency region. So the moment these two capacitance act like a short circuit in the high frequency region, so that this poses several problems here. So the gate and source, that becomes short circuit, and gate and drain becomes again short circuit. So the amplification, the amplification is reduced by this, the two capacitances here. Therefore, the gain drops in the high frequency band. So now let us summarize what we have discussed here. The mid band is the useful frequency band of the amplifier that we have told already. FL, lower cutoff frequency, higher cutoff frequency, or in terms of angular frequency, if we indicate omega L and omega H in radians, are the frequencies at which gain drops by 3 dB. So these frequencies FL and FH can be estimated by decreasing the gain from the mid band gain by 3 dB. So we can identify these 2 points on the x-axis. Now to find out the bandwidth of an amplifier, which is most important parameter of the amplifier. So bandwidth equals the difference between the upper cutoff frequency, higher cutoff frequency and lower cutoff frequency. The difference is the bandwidth. Since for this common source amplifier, FH, upper cutoff frequency or higher cutoff frequency is far larger or greater than the FL. So therefore this FL can be neglected. So bandwidth becomes approximately equal to FH. The gain bandwidth the product remains almost constant. Its expression is obtained by multiplying the mid band gain AM with the bandwidth of the common source amplifier. So once again reiterating, this is the overall frequency response that we have discussed so far. So it's a plot of gain in decibels versus the frequency in radians. We have analyzed separately the low pass filter behavior and high pass filter behavior. In the mid band region here, the gain is almost constant here. So that is for the frequency or between omega H and omega L. Between these two limits, the capacitance CGS, internal capacitance of MOSFET, CGS and CGD behaves like an open circuit, and the external capacitances CC1, CC2 and CS behaves like a short circuit. So this is the overall frequency response of common source amplifier. Now let us discuss more details of high frequency response of common source amplifier. So to determine the gain of the transfer function, gain or the transfer function of the amplifier at high frequencies, so we go for high frequency response. Now let us find out the gain of the amplifier or transfer function of the amplifier at high frequencies. Now let us see various elements behavior at high frequencies. So as we already told, at high frequencies, the coupling capacitor will act like a short circuit. All three capacitances will behave like a short circuit. However, these capacitance here becomes a short circuit here. So this becomes major at high frequencies. So therefore we have shown this with the capacitance. So CGD is a capacitance between the gate and the drain. So this becomes the dominant at high frequency. Another capacitance, gate to source capacitance. This capacitance appears between gate and source. This is also a dominant capacitance at high frequencies. At high frequencies, other capacitance like CC1, CC2, CS becomes short circuit. Okay, now let us obtain the gain expression for this, the common source amplifier circuit at high frequency. To obtain the gain expression for common source amplifier, particularly at high frequencies, we have to replace this MOSFET with high frequency model. In the last class, we have discussed the high frequency model of the MOSFET. Now we can obtain small signal equivalent circuit of the MOSFET, and then later on we can replace MOSFET with its high frequency model. So now after replacing MOSFET with its high frequency model, the model which appears to be as shown here. Okay, so here you can see that at high frequencies these capacitance are perfectly, they are behaving like a short circuit for high frequencies, and let us see various other elements here. Okay, so now this box here shows that replacement of MOSFET with its high frequency model. As we have discussed in last class, the high frequency model of the MOSFET comprises two capacitances, CGD, gate to drain capacitance, gate to source capacitance, the capacitance between gate and the source, and the capacitance CGD between gate and drain, and there is a current source GM times VGS. This is a dependent current source. The magnitude of current flowing here is GM times VGS. The current flowing here depends on gate to source voltage applied here. Okay, and the high frequency model also contains R0 resistance. This resistance R0 models channel length modulation. So this transistor is connected in common source mode, therefore source is grounded here. So other elements which we see in the circuit diagram, especially R signal, RG and V signal, are attached here. As we can see here, there is an RG here between gate and the ground, and between gate and the ground there is in this path there is a R signal, internal resistance of this voltage source, V signal. The other elements like we have RD. If you look at output part of the circuit, we have two resistances here, RD and as well as RL. So for AC this VDD becomes ground and VSS also becomes ground. This path will get eliminated. So we can see here the two resistance, external resistances RD and RL in the equivalent circuit. So this is the equivalent circuit of common source amplifier under high frequency. Okay, so this circuit is valid only for high frequency region of operation. Now to further simplify this circuit, we can obtain these three resistances R0, RD, RL. Since they are going to be in parallel, we can write with single resistance RL dash, which is equivalent to R0 parallel with RD parallel with RL. So this is the equivalent resistance. We can replace now, in place of three resistances, we can replace with single resistance now. And other thing is at the input side we can replace with Thevenin's the equivalent circuit here. So Thevenin's equivalent circuit is nothing but is nothing but it contains the voltage source in series with the equivalent resistance now. So now from this the circuit, Thevenin voltage is nothing but it's a voltage can be obtained by applying voltage division rule here. So across this there is a V Thevenin which is equivalent to V signal times RG divided by R signal plus RG, which is shown here. So this is the Thevenin voltage appearing here, and Thevenin resistance across which is in series with the Thevenin voltage is R Thevenin, which is RG parallel with R signal. So this is the Thevenin resistance, and here we have Thevenin voltage source. Now we can reduce this, simplify this circuit, and the simplified circuit is as shown here. So we have Thevenin's voltage source, and we have a Thevenin resistance, R Thevenin, which is also called as R dash signal, which is equivalent to R signal parallel with RG. Here again the other elements remains same, which we are not going to change. There is a capacitance CGS between gate and source here, and there is a CGD capacitance between gate and drain here. The current flowing through this is nothing but IGD, which is nothing gate to drain current. The current flowing through this capacitance CGD, and there is a current source as we have seen in the original circuit, and RL dash, which is the parallel combination of three resistances R0, RD and RL. Now here there is one assumption we should make here: the current IGD should be very much less than the Gm times VGS for the circuit to behave like a common source amplifier. Now let us obtain the expression for IGD. So IGD is nothing but the current flowing through the capacitance CGD, gate to drain capacitance. So to obtain IGD, we should calculate potential across this divided by the capacitive reactance here. So at gate point we have VGS, that's the voltage at the gate node, and at the drain node we have V0. Okay, so that's the voltage that exists at the drain node now. So across CGD, the voltage is VGS minus V0. That is the voltage that exists across CGD, and the reactance is 1 by j omega into CGD. So the resulting equation is as shown here. IGD equals VGS minus V0 divided by 1 by j omega times CGD. Replacing S with j omega, IGD equation will get simplified to this manner. VGS minus V0 divided by 1 divided by S times CGD. This 1 by SCGD can be taken to numerator. So the equation for IGD becomes SCGD times VGS minus V0. We have derived in earlier classes the voltage gain of or output voltage of common source amplifier. So V0 equals minus Gm times VGS times RL dash. So now this is important to derive the expression for voltage gain of high frequency common source amplifier. So now we can substitute V0 here in this and IGD equation can be simplified. So therefore IGD equals S times CGD into this VGS as it is minus of this output voltage of common source amplifier minus Gm times VGS times RL dash. On simplification of IGD equation, the final equation for IGD is S times CGD into VGS multiplied with 1 plus Gm times RL dash. Now the capacitance, the CGD, you can see it appears between the gate and drain. This is the capacitance which appears between gate and drain, as we have seen in the equivalent circuit as well. In another way, we can say that CGD is a capacitance connected between the input and the output here. This is very important here when there is a capacitance connected between the input and output, such as CGD. So now to separate it out between the input and output, we should apply a theorem called as Miller's theorem. So Miller's theorem divides the capacitance equally between to the input side and the output side separately when there is a capacitance connecting input and output. So now we are going to use Miller's theorem because in common source amplifier CGD is connecting both input and output. So we are using Miller's theorem to obtain the equivalent capacitance of CGD at the input side and output side. Now equivalent capacitance between the gate and ground is given by, this is as per the Miller's theorem, and make a note here, we are not going to discuss Miller's theorem in our syllabus, but the usage of Miller's theorem is done here. So equivalent capacitance is calculated by 1 minus the voltage gain of a common source amplifier multiplied with the capacitance. This is the capacitance applicable at the input side of common source amplifier equivalent circuit. Okay. Now we can substitute AV as minus Gm times RL dash. The C becomes now CGD. Now we can substitute all these things, and the final equation for equivalent capacitance is 1 plus Gm times RL dash. This 1 minus here, minus of minus becomes a plus. So therefore 1 plus Gm times RL dash into CGD is as it is. So now this is called as a 1 plus Gm times RL dash is called as Miller multiplication, because this is a scalar component that multiplies with the capacitance, and that's going to produce the equivalent capacitance at input side. So this is as per the Miller's theorem. So now as per the Miller's theorem, the connecting capacitance CGD between the gate and the drain can be removed. Now we have a capacitance at the input side which is C equivalent capacitance at the input side, which is given by this expression. The resulting circuit of equivalent circuit now simplifies as shown here. So this is again Thevenin's voltage source, which we have derived in the previous equivalent circuit, R Thevenin is now we have denoted as R dash signal, and rest of the circuit remains same. So here the only difference is we have removed here the capacitance CGD, and we have obtained the equivalent capacitance as per the Miller's theorem. The other parts in the output side remains as it is, GM times VGS. This is in the output side, and RL dash in the output side. This remains as it is. So now total capacitance between at the input side is given as C in, which is the input capacitance equals sum of these two capacitors because they are in parallel. So now we can substitute CGS, C equivalent what we have derived, we can substitute. So CGS equals C in equals CGS plus C equivalent is 1 plus GM times RL dash into CGD. In this equation we can approximate here because CGS is going to be small value, which is usually in femtofarad compared to the CGD. Here the second term cannot be neglected because the CGD gets multiplied with the large, the scalar value. So this second term cannot be neglected. However, first term can be neglected because this is going to be very small value. So neglecting first term and also making equivalent of 1 plus GM times RL dash as simply GM into RL dash, the input capacitance now becomes C in equals GM times RL dash times CGD. Now, let us further write separately the input side of the circuit. Now, from this input side, the circuit can be written as here. So, this is the Thevenin voltage source at the input side and the Thevenin resistance, and there is a capacitance between the gate and the source. So, the same capacitance now, so we have shown as C in input capacitance, which is given by CGS plus 1 plus GM RL dash into CGD. Now here we can obtain the expression for the output voltage by the input voltage. So output voltage by input voltage, this can be equated to the high frequency STC model that we have shown discussed in the very beginning. So this is as per the circuit VGS divided by this voltage. So this output voltage by the input voltage, VGS divided by input voltage is as per the Thevenin's network, which can be equated to the single time constant circuit, which is 1 divided by 1 plus S into S divided by omega naught. So now from this omega naught can be omega naught is equivalent to omega naught, as we said already, which is also equivalent to omega h. This is the higher cutoff frequency. Now in this case it becomes equal to R, it is a product of R into C, but in high pass, high frequency, the response. So the R and C is nothing but, so here we have a resistance as R dash signal and the capacitance is C in. So the product of these two gives us the cutoff frequency omega h, which is nothing but omega naught. From this we can derive the FH here. FH is nothing but omega h divided by 2 pi. So omega h by 2 pi is nothing but you can substitute here omega h, which is R in R prime R dash times C signal into C in. The final equation for higher cutoff frequencies 1 by 2 pi C in into R dash signal. Now we know we can derive the expression for voltage gain, overall voltage gain. So we know that output voltage of common source amplifier is V0 equals minus GM times RL dash into VGS. VGS is nothing but just now we have shown here. So VGS can be obtained by cross multiplying this. So VGS is equivalent to V signal times RG divided by RG plus R signal multiplied with 1 divided by 1 plus S into omega naught. So now we can substitute the VGS value here in the equation number 1. So substituting equation 2 in equation 1, so we can obtain the overall voltage gain V0 by V signal here. So V0 by V signal is equivalent to minus, because we have minus sign here, into RG divided by RG plus R signal into GM times RL dash into 1 divided by 1 plus S by omega naught. So this is the expression for high frequency high frequency response of common source amplifier. This is a voltage gain expression for the high frequency response of common source amplifier. Remind here, I would like to remind here, this expression is only valid for high frequency response. So this becomes invalid for low frequency response here. So that's a condition one must not forget here. Now let us plot the frequency response of high frequency response of common source amplifier after we deriving the expression for voltage gain. So V0 by V signal, which is shown here along the y-axis, and its frequency behavior, you can see it is omega naught here, and so the frequency behavior of this is plotted, and V0 by V signal versus the frequency. The curve is, it behaves like a high pass filter here. So so this behaves like, this is the high frequency response of common source amplifier here. Okay, so we know the equation for FH here. We derived the equation for overall voltage gain here, which is plotted along the y-axis here. Now let us summarize the things what we have covered, and observations we can make out for the high frequency response of common source amplifier. Large R signal, you can see that the FH is now inversely proportional to the R signal. We can go back to the FH expression. Here we have R dash signal, which is again parallel combination of RG and R signal. So what we are trying to say here is, the first observation is, if the R signal, if the internal resistance is going to be very large, then the higher cutoff frequency will be very less. So we expect here larger higher cutoff frequency. A good design of common source amplifier expects higher cutoff frequency. However, if internal resistance itself is larger, then the upper cutoff frequency will be very much less, because they are inversely proportional to each other. Now, second observation is, the input capacitance is dominated by this capacitance. We have applied Miller's theorem, and we obtained equivalent capacitance CGD into 1 plus GM times RL dash. So the overall capacitance at the input side is dominated by the Miller capacitance, or equivalent capacitance. Okay, so that's again a drawback here. So other capacitance is eliminated here, as we can make an observation here. CGS is going to be a small quantity, so that gets neglected here. But so this this capacitance or Miller capacitance, since it gets multiplied with gain, so this becomes the dominated. The third observation is the Miller effect. As we have seen that whenever there is a connecting capacitance between the input and output, as we have seen in common source amplifier, CGD is the capacitance between the input and output. So here voltages are related by the large negative sign. Okay, as we can see that voltage, output voltage is now, it is minus GM times RL dash. So that's this voltage, output voltage is having a large negative sign that gets added with this one, and that gets multiplied with CGD. So that's again a drawback here of negative gain, adding to the capacitance. Okay, so that's because of the Miller problem, Miller effect. Okay, and the third observation is, in order to extend upper cutoff frequency that is desired in common source amplifier, so we need to find a suitable configuration. May not be common source, some other configuration with reduced or zero Miller effect. Wherever there is in whichever the configuration, if there is a reduced or a zero Miller effect, with that kind of configuration, the upper cutoff frequency can be extended. So with this, we have come to an end of today's lecture. I hope we have discussed, whatever we discussed in today's class, you have understood, and in the next class we'll take up one problem to understand this high frequency response of common source amplifier. Thank you all for watching this video.